I owe you an explanation, my sweetheart. Not because it hurts. I didn't cause the suffering. Rather, it was caused by the length of the season, which you didn't understand. For the quiet that, although it sounded like desertion, was actually the most intense sound of work I've ever heard from a single individual. I am aware of how things appeared from your perspective. It appeared insignificant. It was as though prayers vanished into a vacant space. It appeared insignificant. It was as though prayers vanished into a vacant space. You stood there, watching the universe rearrange itself for others, and wondered what you had done wrong to be left out of the rearrangement, while everyone else appeared to be moving forward. You weren't excluded. You were never excluded. The kind of silence that was necessary for what was going on inside of you could not coexist with obvious advancement. The patient must remain still during the deepest surgical procedures. Not because the surgeon has stopped, but rather because the accuracy of the procedure necessitates no movement. You won't be getting the shift you've been waiting for. It's already started. Your heart's secret passageways are where it all began. The change you've been yearning for is deep within you, far below the level that human eyes can see, quantify, and definitively report back. The person you prayed for, questioned, and then prayed for again isn't holding out for some far-off future event. It is taking place in the sacred space between where you have been and where I am guiding you, in this very breath, in this very heartbeat. Imagine what occurs in a forest when the coldest season finally starts to let go. The change is not visible to you. The ground appears to be frozen. The trees appear sparse even now. The sky still has that overwhelming grey hue that gives the impression that everything is stopped and kept in place by forces that are too powerful to dispute. However, something is already taking place. It is taking place in the dark earth, in the unseen architecture of roots that have been quietly, carefully, and purposefully getting ready for what lies ahead. The sap that seems to have entirely withdrawn from the branches is still present. It's only gotten deeper, pulled toward the tree's center, where it is protected from the cold, where it waits with a patience that beyond human patience, accumulating strength, storing vitality, and creating the internal reserves necessary to enable the impending burst of expansion. In the winter, the tree seemed to have given up. It has had the opposite effect. It is now internal. It has exchanged the obvious for the necessary. Depth has been prioritized over presentation. And by making that decision, it is preparing something greater than anything it could have created by trying to keep up the appearance of life during a time when it needed to rest. You are experiencing just that. The green sprouts are almost ready to emerge. The outward manifestation of a complete and profound rebirth is about to emerge in your life. The individuals in your immediate vicinity will be shocked when it does. What happened to you? They will ask. Something has evolved. You'll notice that you look different, and you'll be happy because you'll know that the transformation didn't start when they saw it. The secret season was when the transformation started. Even if you couldn't feel my promises being fulfilled, you had to wait, trust, and cling to them during the long winter. The shift started when you decided to stay, not leave me, and embrace the silence despite your wariness, uncertainty, and open questions. I never became silent, even when it seemed like I had. I was operating in a level that is deeper than what the human senses can perceive, speaking in a language that transcends words, planting something in your soul's soil that will never be uprooted by a storm. Right now, I want you to allow that to land in you. Not as a pleasant idea that you gather and carry with you, nodding courteously at its surface while leaving the more profound parts of your heart untouched. I want you to experience the gravity of it, the truth of it, and how a piece of news falls when it is truly good, true, and not at all too good to be true. You've started a profound renewal. Not superficially, not only in your routines, your disposition, or your life circumstances. However, my actions will have an impact on all of those things. I'm talking about a regeneration that starts at the very center of your identity. At the level of your identity, at the level of your spirit, and at the level of the fundamental convictions and beliefs that influence everything else about how you move, live, and interact with the world. This is the type of regeneration that never fades. This is the kind of change that cannot be reversed by a difficult talk, a terrible day, or an unexpectedly harsh season. It holds once I've completed this work on a person. Since I'm the one doing it, it holds. I also don't take any action halfway. I believe you may have been anticipating it to feel differently than it actually does. Therefore, I want you to know something about the nature of true regeneration. When people think about transition, they frequently see it happening dramatically. They anticipate a single dramatic moment where everything is clearly different from how it was, a clear before and a clear after, and a distinct line in the sand. Yes, I do work that way occasionally. I am completely capable of abrupt, instantaneous, and indisputable change. I've completed it. I am capable of doing it once more. However, my rejuvenation is often less like a lightning strike and more like the changing of the seasons. It happens gradually. It has layers. It passes through you in the same manner that water passes through stone. Not all at once, not forcefully, but steadily, devotedly, and with a thoroughness that could never be attained by the violence of a single blow. Canyons are shaped by water over time. In a day, a year, or even 10 years, a river does not sculpt its canyon. Generations of steady, patient, modest, and leisurely labor are required to complete the canyon. When it is completed, however, the result is a scene that is so profoundly beautiful and physically permanent that anyone who stands at its edge and gazes down into the depths of what the water created is astounded. I am creating that in you. Not a fleeting impression, a permanent canyon, a depth that will endure, be breathtaking, and be breathtaking for as long as you live. This is part of the solution if you've been wondering why the renewal you requested hasn't arrived in the format you anticipated. Your request has already been fulfilled. However, it is taking place as the seasons shift. Furthermore, seasons don't shift overnight. They alter as a result of thousands of tiny modifications, gradual changes in temperature, light, and moisture, as well as processes that are imperceptible to the untrained eye, but are unquestionably and consistently moving in the direction of the desired result. Winter does not oppose spring. It just gives in to it gradually, and that's what's taking place within you. The old thought patterns, reflexes, reactions, and concerns are not going away in a single dramatic event. They are gradually giving way to something that is stronger, warmer, and more vital than they have ever been. They are letting go in the same manner as ice lets go when the first prolonged warmth of a new season arrives. Not all at once, but gradually, corner by corner, edge by edge, thinner and thinner, until eventually the entire surface gives way and the water beneath it, which was always liquid at its core, even on the coldest days, begins to flow freely once more. I was observing you during the times you believed to be the most challenging. I want you to hear this clearly. I was there when you felt most lost, stranded, and as like nothing was happening and never would. I wasn't looking anywhere else. When you are the one I am caring for, there is nowhere else my eyes can go because you have my total focus at all times. As the whole and intimate center of a love that does not disseminate, dilute, or divide itself over its subjects, rather than as a background activity that competes with the thousands of other things I am apparently managing. I am totally with you while we are together, and I was totally there for you during every single one of those winter-like seasons. Working, tending, preparing, nourishing, never taking a step back, never losing interest, and never running out of the patience and faithfulness needed to carry out the extensive and profound job of true transformation. Consider a gardener's patience. A competent gardener doesn't plant seeds in the morning and come back at lunch hoping to see results. It seemed nearly illogical at times. It would have been simpler to just halt when the evidence appeared to contradict the turning. Nevertheless, you turned. And I was there each and every time you turned, each and every time, not just sometimes. Not when you made the proper turn, had sufficient faith, or used the appropriate words. I've always been there when you turned, without fail, without exception, and without restriction, and I'm here now. And the rejuvenation that has been growing through each of those turns is going to show itself in ways that will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the waiting was worthwhile, the turning was not in vain, and the faith you held at such a high cost was not misplaced. It's springtime. The winter has passed. Your soul's basis is prepared. The most exquisite and enduring manifestation of your true self will emerge from it. Keep your hands open. Let your heart open. Accept the novelty. Accept the entirety. With the patience of eternity, accept the love that has been holding this future for you. I'm waiting for this very moment to give it to you. You are a brand new being. Old things are no longer with us. Look, everything is brand new. Amen. If this message resonated with you, forward it to someone who needs to hear it right now. To obtain this blessing, type Amen in the comments. Someone in your life is going through the most difficult time of their life, and they are unable to recognize the rebirth that is already taking place beneath the surface of their suffering. They could find the strength to persevere one more day because of your simple act of sharing this with them. And sometimes all it takes to make the breakthrough is one more day. Tell us what you found most meaningful in this message by leaving a comment below. Your narrative is important. Your life is truly undergoing rebirth, and this community is accompanying you through each stage of it. None of us by ourselves.